Hey everybody, it's Blended. I'm Christian and Laura's on the other end of this somewhere.
Hey everyone.
Yep, there she is. Yeah. So go ahead, take it away.
Well, hey everyone. We're excited to be back. We are going to dive into spring break.
Yep, woohoo.
Having fun as a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just wanted to do a topic that we just came out of. Everybody kind of is either finishing up their spring break or just came out of it. And it's a little bit more lighthearted and fun. And that is a huge culture of our home that we're working at. You have to work at making it fun. You have to be intentional. Mm-hmm. It's an important thing to us. Fun and rest is, we've just realized the importance of it. And we just thought after we did a few episodes of lots of serious things, heavy stories, you know, all the things that we've walked through. Today just is going to be a little bit more different, a little bit more lighthearted and fun. And hopefully you'll get...
lots of dad jokes.
Oh my gosh. Hopefully you'll get some encouragement for your own family, or you'll just laugh. And I think all of us just need to laugh a lot more than we do.
Yeah. I guess I can start it off. I don't know.
Yep. It's your job.
So one thing we learned just over the years, planning trips and especially family trips where we're all going to be in a car loaded together.
Yeah.
Because we've kind of had good experiences and we've had bad experiences, and we've kind of learned from all the different ones. And
for sure.
So one of the things we really do is try to have a lot of preparation, and even just sitting down and thinking through food, meals, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. Kind of have a really good detailed plan, not just winging it. It's, even though I can sometimes be a little bit like a wing it person, which is weird because
when it comes to vacations.
Yeah, when it comes to vacations.
Yeah.
This is the family trips. I am not that way at all, because it's kind of hard to manage so many expectations in a car, and everyone wants to know what's going on. So we've really learned that communication is kind of the key for a fun trip. So we always start off planning, and that normally, we find this, I guess we could talk through what we just did. Yeah. We went, we like to go to St. Augustine. It's close by, Florida, and go to the beach, and it's only like 2.5 hours away. Mm-hmm. It's very close for us. So we found an Airbnb, got a condo right off the beach.
Before you get into that, let's talk about how we sat down and decided, are we going on a trip? Should we go on a trip? Because I think that's important. Like we talked about, some spring breaks, we don't go on a trip.
Yeah, that's true.
And, do you go on a trip just because the whole world's going on a trip and that's the thing to do? Or is it something we need? Is it something we can afford? And then we sat down and kind of looked at the calendar and decided, okay, let's plan out, what are we actually going to do? What should we do? What makes the most sense for us? Yeah,
and that's a very good point. We did, and financially even, talking through the rest of the summer, because if we do this big trip and spend all this money now, will we have money for other trips? Do I need to do more side work or pick some extra jobs to kind of save up for other things we want to do? So we always definitely sit down and think through that. And, this year we're doing a big family trip as well, like the whole family going to Canada. So there's a lot there. So we knew we had kind of set aside money for that and time for that. Yeah. But we still knew it's been a while since we've done something as a family. Yeah. Probably since last summer, since we've all gone somewhere.
And because our dynamics are so different and we have older children and younger children. Yep. I felt like it was really strong on my heart that I really wanted Benjamin to go. Yeah. So Austin doesn't live at home and he works full time. He's super busy. So Ben's a senior and everybody's going on these extravagant senior trips, and
which is awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. But we're like, hey, look, we want a trip with you and we want a trip with your younger siblings. They want a trip with you. Yeah. So we kind of talked through how could we
do something fun.
Yeah, that all the different ages would have fun doing.
So we settled on beach, and, funny enough, I don't know, most kids go through this phase, not all kids go through this phase, but when they're little, everybody loves the sand on the beach, and then as you turn to a teenager, somehow sand becomes annoying.
I don't know, maybe just to boys.
I was never that way.
I've always loved the
But
beach.
Austin kind of got that way. Ben, the last few trips, hasn't been super excited.
Like if we sat him down and said, hey, where do you want to go? I don't think he would pick the beach.
No.
But he
He'll
ended
go.
up,
Yeah.
he ended up having the most fun. He didn't know
did.
the beach could be that fun.
I
We
don't think
taught
so.
him.
He was really excited because there was a pool, and he was thinking, well, I'll just hang out there while you're at the beach or when I
Yeah.
get sick of it. And I honestly thought that's probably what was going to happen, but he ended up hanging out a lot longer than we thought. So
Yeah, controlling the speaker bar.
yeah. That's probably why.
It was good.
But yeah, and he had a little umbrella to stay in the shade.
Yep.
That probably helped as well. So
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so getting back to kind of the idea, we sit down and kind of planned that out and knew we wanted to do something fun with the kids.
And one thing that I was thinking about, like, as far as like the enjoyment of everybody, I really felt like it was important to get a place. We've done trips where we all pile up and like kind of have like hotel room situation.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, what if we spent a little bit more on where we stayed? Everybody had not a ton of privacy, but a little bit more, like 2 bathrooms and different things like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a pool. There's like easy access to the beach where we don't have to like load up the car and all be full of sand and coming back and forth.
Yeah.
So we picked out this place that like, it's like, okay, we're going to put a little bit more into that. And then we talked through, well, we could do actually what our family loves to do, and we could plan out some meals and cook at the Airbnb. So we're not eating out at extravagant restaurants every night.
Yeah,
so,
and we knew it was spring break and figured
which
it would be busy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we decided like, hey, let's put more money into where we stay versus like restaurants.
And funny enough, we actually found a place that was pretty much priced the same as a hotel, and it happened to be a condo. So it was actually pretty affordable even after all the fees.
Right.
It was, within if we actually got 2 hotel rooms, we'd have spent double. So this actually ended up being cheaper. But we knew we wanted to not spend a ton of money because we wanted to do other trips. So we wanted to do something with our family. So we did this. We pre-planned food. I think I went to Sam's and planned out like lots of fun.
We loaded down a giant Yeti.
Yep. Yeah. And just loaded the ice chest up with tons of food and planned to bring everything. So we did like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and came back Saturday evening or afternoon. And so we planned for lunch Thursday, lunch Friday, and lunch Saturday, breakfast for Friday and Saturday, and then dinner for Thursday and Friday. And then we planned to just eat at home when we got back.
Which the timeline, I want to say, was genius.
Yep.
Because it was a perfect amount of time for everybody to really have fun before we all start to get on each other's nerves.
Yep. Because normally about day 3, I think everybody from being in close quarters for so long
is ready for their own space.
Yeah. And so I think it was kind of the perfect trip for our family. We all loaded into one car. So, 4 kids and 2 adults. And there's, I actually laid one of the seats down for the ice chest. So there was no space.
Yeah.
It was like you had your tiny little area.
Yep.
And that was it. And we loaded that car down. I mean, there was no fitting.
Boogie boards.
Yeah.
all
the stuff.
Pillows.
Yep. Playing through it all. And it was fun. The kids had a great time. We were able to, that night, like, we like seafood and do stuff, so we decided we'd do, like, a big seafood boil and crab legs and shrimp and corn and potatoes, sausage, all the stuff in it. And
that's something fun that we all love, is like a low country boiled dinner, so we thought that'd be really fun.
We did that Thursday night, and everyone loved it.
And we planned it out where we didn't go spend a ton of money at a restaurant. We went to Sam's and got everything, and it was delicious.
Yeah, I think I got almost just about every single item, like all food, you name it. It was like $250, I think, for the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we had some leftovers that we brought home that we ate over the next few days. So, so it was kind of amazing that little bit of money ended up feeding us for probably 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, and it was so fun. Like, after you're on the beach all day and everybody's been in the sun and they're exhausted, to just like get showered and put pajamas on and cook and hang out and relax.
Yep. We watched a lot of kids baking shows.
Yeah, we did.
Is wanting to be a little baker now.
We were all sucked in to the kids baking challenge. If y'all are not watching that, y'all need to watch that.
It's kind of fun.
It's so good.
Now Adeline wants to bake, so I think we're going to do some today actually.
Yeah, we are.
We had a lot of fun. It was really neat just to see when we kind of laid it all out and explained. And one thing that we're really put emphasis on when we start taking trips is just really, before we leave, we're going to sit down, everybody gets their stuff in the car, and we take a moment and we just pray. Because we want this trip to be blessed, and we want God to be in the middle of it. And we want it to be a unity and bonding time for our family, not just going on a trip for this trip's sake.
Right. To say we went on a spring break trip.
Yeah, we want it to actually be an experience that we all enjoy together.
We have memories that we love.
Correct. Yeah. And everyone's on the same page with that we can all agree that's why we're doing this. There's going to be moments where you don't have as much space as you'd want, but that's how it's going to be, and that's fine. And we're going to not...
We kind of set the tone. First, we prayed. I think we prayed twice over this trip.
Yeah.
Just because we have experienced trips where there's so much tension of managing fighting siblings or somebody's expectations or what they wanted to do or just so many different things. So, as parents, when you go on a trip with kids, you're managing like a tension almost, I don't know, moms probably do it more of like trying to make everybody have fun. And life has been so full that I just felt like I really needed this to be restful. Both of us really needed this to be restful for us. So for one thing, if you don't have your friends that pray, I had my girlfriends, I'm like texting them, they are on it. They're praying for this to be restful.
Yeah.
And then we prayed twice, like just us. We were praying over, just our family and different things, and we prayed for the trip. That set the tone. And in us praying, one thing I was going to share, I found myself, I think this will speak to a ton of moms. This came out of my mouth and I thought, I never need to forget this. I prayed that I didn't want to carry the weight and responsibility of making sure everybody else has fun and enjoys the trip.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said it, I thought, gosh, how many times do I not enjoy the trip?
And you kind of burn yourself out.
Yeah, because somebody's upset that the other person touched them and they won't give them back their tablet or whatever. And so I'm spending my whole focus and I actually said, Lord, it's their responsibility to be thankful for this and to have fun. And so I released that to you to work that attitude in them. And I'm going to just only focus on me and my attitude in this trip.
Yeah.
I think that's such a big deal.
It is, and it really did. This, out of all, we've taken lots of trips, and by far this is one of the most relaxing and fun-filled trips that we really had no crazy issues. The small little things from time to time, but it was just everybody was calm, and the whole atmosphere was fun and restful. It really was. We all enjoyed each other's time together and played, and it was great. It was a great trip. I did not get in that water though because it was freezing.
Oh my gosh. And it was red flags every day, so
the
waves were
that was very windy. It's the spring. I think that's just kind of normal.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You don't know. You could book a trip on a spring break to the beach and it could be freezing or it could be 85 and sunny. And we had 85 and sunny. It was great.
Yeah, with a lot of wind, but so the waves were kind of rough, but the kids, man, they'll get in that ice cube water. They're wanting to know why we're not getting in it. I'm like, no.
We had to set expectations of how far you could go out, though, because
it was pretty
intense.
Crazy. Yeah. And not many people, if you looked around, not a lot of people were even going out very far. You could tell it was pretty rough. So, but all things considered, we all had a great time, and it was a good trip.
Let's talk a little bit more about expectations, because we have us and our expectations.
Yep.
And then we have 18-year-old. We have 12. I almost said 11. 12-year-old.
And then
9 and 8.
Yep.
Everybody has a different idea, and we all have really big personalities. Yep. And so we had to talk through, I individually just talked to them about why we were taking this trip. I set the tone with my own attitude. I think I conveyed to them probably for the first time, which this is, I don't know what that says about me, but how thankful I was that we were getting to do this. I think that was the basis of my heart going in, and that changes everything.
Yeah.
And so then when they realized this is something to be grateful for, not that you're just entitled to go on a spring break trip, first of all.
Yep.
And then just saying look, you're not going to have your own bedroom. You know, one of the bedrooms has got a queen bed and a full-size bed.
Yep.
And you're going to ride right next to your siblings or whatever.
Yep. And then taking turns using the restroom, shower.
All the stuff.
Yep.
Not tons of square footage. But then saying hey, there's shuffleboard courts and a pool right outside our porch. And just talking through the stuff that's going to be so fun. And saying, hey, go into I don't think I had to tell them to go into it with a good attitude, but I kind of just said, hey, these are the things that you've got to know. Like, you're not going to have your own personal space, but there is going to be time for downtime. And I know what we said. I said, we need you to communicate what you need. If you get to a point where you got to go in the room and shut the door because you just need a minute, or whatever, like, we're not going to be frustration city.
That's right.
You know, communicate. Everybody needs to communicate. And we're all going to have to understand that this isn't about us individually. This is about us as a family.
That's right.
And so we did that, and it made all the difference.
It really did. It definitely did. And I know we've tried to do that in the past in different ways. Didn't always go
We've had some epic fails.
We have.
I was on this trip, I was thinking about our first ever spring break trip. So we weren't married and we took the kids.
Yeah.
And it was a train wreck.
Well, there were moments that were good. I think. Yes.
There was things, purpose in it.
Well, we had a lot of crazy moments.
We had a lot of stuff going on. First of all, it was cloudy and freezing cold. That was like a whole dynamic.
I mean, the sun wasn't out and the wind was blowing. We were all having chill bumps.
And
we couldn't find parking, couldn't find food. We didn't plan.
We couldn't find food.
We were thinking, we'll grocery shop when we get there. We couldn't find a parking spot to the grocery store. The grocery store was like tiny.
Every restaurant wait was like an hour. Kids were melting down.
Yeah.
And we were not married yet, so this was like.
Yeah, we were dating, but we were planning to get engaged.
Yes.
Very, very shortly after. So it was like.
It felt very separate.
Yeah.
It felt like me and the boys and you and Adeline, and we're on this trip.
Yeah. Well, it kind of was that way, but I mean.
Yeah, it was. And then it just felt like, I don't know, the dynamics. Nobody fully knew each other, so.
Yep. That was a lot of tension. But we definitely bonded and blended and all the things since then. In this trip, I would say one thing, I realized really quickly was, it's hard sometimes to actually be grateful for things as kids, as parents. And you get in these situations where you'd rather it be this way, you'd rather it be that way. And it's hard to almost get that mindset out of your head. But I noticed on this trip, like, everyone seemed super grateful. And we all had good, genuine, like, and if something happened, like say, somebody took your boogie board and you wanted to use it, it got resolved easily, or we dealt with it very easily, and forgiveness was brought into the situation, and everyone's good to go within a few minutes. And it just felt like everyone was willing to kind of keep things happy and keep the peace.
They wanted to have
a good time. Everyone really wanted to have a good time.
And there was such an atmosphere of thankfulness.
Yep. And everyone worked together. It was teamwork, which is a big part of a family trip. Everyone has a part to play, from unloading the car to packing up stuff, hanging up your dirty towel, all the little things that happen in between.
Packing the ice chest with sandwiches to go down.
Yeah, everyone has to carry an item down to the beach and then carry that same item back, if not another item, and including your water bottle is, that's just a given. So, but, that's part of it. And we kind of explained it that way. Everyone has a part to play in this family, and we're all going to pitch in and do our parts. So, and it was good.
It was.
It was a lot of fun. This time, we didn't go out to eat at all. We had planned to save money and kind of eat. So we did the seafood boil.
Yeah, we were thinking like, hey, we're going to cook at the condo, but let's do something different. Like, let's not do our regular tacos or spaghetti that we do at home. Like, let's do something totally different, make it fun.
Yeah. And we did, the seafood boil the first night.
But then we talked about like, gosh, we're desperate for a date night. Life has been so full. We haven't had that
in a while. And we haven't taken a trip together since our birthdays, which was back in the first weekend of December 2024. So it's been a while. It's
right. Which I know, I want to say this. Some people might not think that's a long time. But I'm just telling you, like, I don't care what your financial situation is. If you ask God to figure that out for you, I think that should be a priority.
Yeah.
I don't know. We've learned if we don't get time together, like, there's no connection, there's no rest. Yeah. That is like so vital.
It is.
And it's not about finances. It's about making it a priority. All that to say, we decided, hey, what if we have an adult son, and what if we went and got dinner, just the two of us, the next night?
Yep.
And left the kids with some fun food and ice cream.
And we planned this out before we left. This wasn't a spur of the moment that we thought through this. We had already kind of planned.
And we talked to Ben and made sure he felt good with it.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, go do it. Me and William there's a gym at the condo, and like, that sounds fun. Everybody gets ice cream and gets to watch shows after being on the beach all day.
Yep.
So we were super intentional that they had our attention at the beach.
Yeah,
you know,
we went
like
on little walks and things, and threw the football and looked for shells, sand castles.
Yeah.
Which
without a shovel because our shovel broke.
The day one.
We need some new sand toys.
We do. That's kind of sad.
It was a pitiful little thing.
We made some stuff work. I taught them how to get dry sand further up the beach, and then just wet it a little bit.
It was funny.
Or mix in the wet sand.
So they had our full attention. They were having fun. And so when they got a shower after being in the sun all day and we were leaving them with ice cream, they did not care at all.
Yep. Nope. They got pizza, which, you can't, as long as you don't do it every day, it's always good.
Love it.
Everyone loves it.
They want it every day.
So we put 2 pizzas in the oven. I cooked them before we left.
Yeah.
So all they had to do was eat and then eat ice cream, which is about the easiest thing.
They were so excited. They were not.
Yep. And at this point, we were all pretty sun-kissed from 2 days in a row of being in the sun.
Okay, probably the most sun any of us.
Yep.
We do not normally burn like that. That was...
I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it's because it was our first beach trip since the winter.
We are sunscreen people.
Yeah, we reapplied a lot, and apparently I don't know how to reapply.
Christian has a great tan line.
I have. It looks like I wore a bikini top.
Half of his stomach is not.
It's a completely different shade of dark because it was burnt, and then it.
Oh, I wish
I
y'all
luckily
could
have
see
skin that browns. Even if I get sunburned, it typically browns. I may peel a little bit, but 90%.
It's not a straight line either. It's like we don't know what happened.
It is very weird. So I have my entire stomach midsection is like all weird dark, and then my chest and this one little spot in between my chest is a circle.
It's a red circle.
I look crazy. I'm actually kind of embarrassed to go to our neighborhood pool and take my shirt off because they're going to wonder what happened.
And then I burned on one ear.
Yep.
Like, I don't even know. But ear. Like the inner ear.
Yeah,
like,
it's all peeling now.
It's peeling.
It looks gross.
Luke's back was like...
Yeah, we did a lot of aloe.
Buddy, what in the world?
He was hot that night.
Yeah, he was.
I don't know what happened. Somehow we rubbed all the sunscreen off. We did something.
I don't know. Well, he was playing shuffleboard, I think, when we reapplied. And,
the only one who somehow didn't get burnt was Ben, which
he was under his umbrella.
He did umbrella, and then Adeline.
Speaker bar.
I still don't really understand how
She is like, the sun just turns her brown.
I'm that way too, but something happened with me.
Is my favorite part.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah, so we showered and just said, let's go find a little hole-in-the-wall sushi place, which was so fun.
Yep.
And we just like...
And it was a hole in the wall. It was weird.
It was really weird music.
I don't know what was going on, but I felt like I was in this.
Please describe the music.
The best way I could.
It had the best ratings, so we looked it up on Yelp,
and it was amazing.
It was great food.
But nobody was in there. Maybe 2 other people.
There was a Christmas tree.
There was a Christmas tree that was decorated.
Valentine's Day
decorations as well, all up at the same time. I guess they just leave it up year round. Why not? You know? Well, you're always ready.
It's very eclectic.
And then there was this weird classical,
it's like
anime video game music. I don't really know.
A mix between instrumental at a play mixed up with Super Mario Brothers.
I don't even know. It just was the
weirdest
vibe.
Music.
But it was great service.
It was such
they gave
good
us
food.
like all this free stuff. I felt like we had these weird
little appetizers.
Yeah, they just brought it to the table. They didn't order it, and soups and stuff. And I was like, hey, this is kind of fancy.
So it was good.
So food was good.
So we left for a couple hours. Yep. It was so short, but like we were able
to talk and just
breathe for a minute because so much work.
Yep.
I don't know.
It is.
I don't know how. I think there are some families where the dynamic is like maybe the mom does everything. I think I know a lot of dynamics like that. Yep. But let me just say this, whoever's listening, pray to change that. I would not we both did everything. I mean, I did all the laundry, got all the beach towels, the kids' bags. You just I don't think you understand if you just have one kid, you don't know what goes into all right, everybody make sure they got enough underwear, all the stuff.
Getting 4 children's stuff together and not forgetting crucial things in the process. I mean, we had lists on lists, and I double-checked them.
Which I love. You had a list on your phone of what to grab in the morning.
Yep.
And that was so good because sometimes I'm like trying to keep it all in my head, and then we pull out of the driveway and I forgot 3 things.
And we've done that. That's why I have a list on my phone. This is practical. I sadly had to learn this the hard way, where we get halfway down the street.
You end up buying it at the Publix by the beach, and it costs 10 times more.
Yep. And I don't like spending extra money when it comes to
when we
stuff
have
like
it
that.
at home.
Yep.
So we probably spent a long time like planning the grocery order, planning the logistics of the vehicle packing, because I've got a Honda Pilot and it's great. You can fit 7 people, but you throw in luggage, ice chests, sand toys.
It gets packed.
And
I planned out. I mean, we used every nook and cranny underneath where probably the spare tire stuff goes. I use that area for food. It's wild.
So, and then that morning, everybody had their clothes laid out. I mean, this is just simple stuff, but it made the morning like, first of all, they're all so excited. So everybody knows what they're wearing. They got their bag together. Your only job is to throw your toothbrush and your deodorant in your bag.
Yep.
And eat your breakfast. And then, but like you and I together did like pack the car and remember everything, check all the checklists.
Yep. Make sure everyone uses the restroom before you leave. That's a critical one.
Yeah.
Because it's as a dad that drives, when your kid 5 minutes down the interstate is saying they have to use the restroom.
Yes.
When we just left the house, it's probably the worst sound ever. Yeah, on a trip.
And I will say one thing that like
we didn't use the restroom the whole trip there or back.
I did. We stopped at Dollar General when we got there.
But I mean, we made it there.
That's true. We were on
the beach. Yep.
Okay.
That's kind of a miracle.
So we manage screen time a ton, right?
Yep.
Monday through Thursday, the kids don't have screen time.
That's right.
TV, anything. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we kind of plan out, like, depending on what's happening, them to get some time.
But we still, and it's normally in the evenings, but when it's sunny out and the weather's good, we're
go
outside
and play, which they would prefer to do anyways. Yeah. But they look forward to it a lot more than just like, oh, this is all we do. They play with their toys a lot more. They play outside. Okay, all that. But we have like a good mindset of like, okay, we're going to be in the car for 2.5 hours. Let's not add crazy tension where it's not needed.
Yeah.
If you want to watch a show or you want to play your game, it's fine.
Yep.
We have car trips all the time where we talk in the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like in a world of so much technology addiction, I mean, you and I, we're reading books right now that are blowing our minds about iPhones and children and all the things. Like there's so much balance and so much we need to learn in the technology world with kids.
But then there's practical.
Like it's okay. Like
in that scenario, I think so. Especially
just
the
let
close
that
quarters.
go.
Otherwise, they're going to be, worried about her elbow just touched me.
She's looking out my window.
Or silly things.
Do your kids say stuff like that?
I think everybody's kids does.
They
all claim their space too, and it's like
only
that's
your
my
window.
cup holder.
Yeah.
That's my air vent. It's like everything is now they own aspects of the car instantly the moment they sit down. Yeah, my leg space. That's a big one.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And somehow all of a sudden everybody has to open their legs like they're walking like cowboys all of a sudden. In the middle,
their territory.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Oh, so anyways, be released. If you need them to watch something while you drive, have some sanity.
And we do luckily have like a little TV system and wireless headphones in the Honda Pilot, and
we didn't even use that till the way home.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll just hook my iPhone up to the HDMI port, and we'll put Disney on.
Or a baking show.
They watch that the whole
kids
pretty much
baking
halfway.
Challenge, y'all. It is so good. These kids are crazy making macaroons and
all the things.
But so that I think we've learned because there's times where we've been like, no, you don't need a screen.
Yep.
Whatever.
And we do
know your season. No. Yeah.
And we don't. We do have our just hard lines. Like we're not bringing electronics to restaurants. We're not bringing electronics to situations like that.
It's not at the kitchen table.
It's not at the kitchen table. We don't do anything. It's very car rides. It's very situational.
And we model that too. Like we're not on our phones at the dinner table because I can't have an expectation. I don't know. Some people need to hear like, if you don't want your 12-year-old on his, you better not be on yours.
Because they're watching,
That's just my opinion. That might be harsh.
I think it's good.
Yeah, we gotta model it.
I've had to do it mainly because I get text messages 24/7, and a lot of it's work related. A lot of it's people asking questions, and I feel the need
have to be intentional. Set it
to
down.
answer everybody's questions when I get it. So I typically have to put my phone in my room or at the island and go sit at the dinner table and just ignore it for a while.
Yep.
Which is healthy.
Yeah.
So, so back to beach trip. That was a really fun aspect, and I think giving them that carved out screen time, they had an expectation. They knew they could bring one device. When we got in the car, they had that time, and then when we're at the condo, there was time carved out after the evening, or hey, you could watch a show now.
Tons of communication. Yep. Like, hey, we're going to eat lunch and go spend this much time on the beach.
Yep.
And then we're going to go do this. And it just, Christian's giving me an evil eye because apparently I hit the microphone with my hand when I talk. I talk with my hands.
She hits the microphone. The edits and EQ fixes I have to do because she hits her microphone.
Keep him on his toes.
No, need to take her hands down.
But we communicated what was happening, so they knew, like, hey, in a little while I'm going to get some TV time, or hey, in a little while I'm going to get to play my Switch.
Yep. And that makes all the difference because then there's not meltdowns because they had this whole day planned out in their mind of what they wanted, and it's completely different from yours.
Yeah.
It seems so silly that would make such a big difference, but it makes a huge difference to communicate, especially in certain kids that do plan out their mind, and then when they don't get what they want, they feel like no one understands, and it's frustrating, and they're upset, and then you're trying to manage that.
I have kids like that.
Everybody's got one at least.
Little victims you have to constantly tell they're not victims.
They're not victims. What's the thing?
You're
just have
training,
to. You're teaching mindsets. Yep.
Mindset.
Positivity.
Yes.
So.
What else? What happened? What was funny? I feel like we laughed a lot.
I mean, there was all kinds of silly moments. I mean, the kids are wild. And we did a beach walk the second day.
Yeah.
It was I really just wanted to move around. I felt like I was laying in a chair for a while, snacking and eating. So I was like, we should go for a walk. And the kids wanted to go.
Which we love to do when it's you and I.
Yeah.
And it's a totally different dynamic.
It is, yeah. We're trying to get kids to not run into other people.
Throw the football into groups of people.
Yeah, or over their heads.
Which that happened.
And it was very close.
We got eyeballed.
I got eyeballed very much. I'm like, I don't know who that kid is. There's moments where you get to do that.
Yeah.
You just act like they're not yours for 2 minutes and then get by.
Yep.
So, no, totally joking, but kind of not. But it was fun. Yeah, we did that, and there were lots of silly moments because we found random stuff.
A dead crab.
Yep.
Yeah.
All kinds of random stuff.
Which, like, I remember this. All right, so who found the dead crab?
Me.
Luke, William, you found it?
I found it.
The big dead one?
Yeah,
you did. Okay. Yeah. Well, one of the boys grabbed it and chased Adeline, and she was screaming her head off. Yeah. Where normally, this is where I realized, like, there has been a significant shift in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, that would have set off, like, so much division that he just did that to her. But, like, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
At the end, she, like, found something to chase him with.
Yeah, they were just playing around.
And everybody was laughing. And it was, like, the foundation of their relationship. She knows that he's for her.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. It just turned out to be, like, a moment where I realized I had so many different moments where I felt like I was kind of like watching things play out and realizing how much blending has happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you have any times like that? I had so many moments.
There was a lot of moments. I mean, even just seeing them take turns using things or helping each other.
Yeah.
Like normally Luke and Adeline don't build things together. Adeline's like...
And they work together the whole time.
And they work together a lot on sandcastle stuff. Now, they did their own thing because she wants to do a mermaid cupcake castle thing, and he's just... He's just doing something.
Yeah, he just wants kind of
he wants to make
sand construction. Yeah.
There's no name for it. There's no thought. There's no shells. Adeline's just like thought through, decorated. She's looking for seaweed, very specific color shells.
She wants you to help her look, but she doesn't want you to pick anything out.
Yeah. That was another funny part of the walk. She's asking me to find her shells, and everything I picked out, she's like, no.
No. Yeah.
And then she wants me to agree that every shell she picks up is perfect. So we thought that was funny.
So they did. Particular. They got along really, really well, which they are 9 months apart. So for a few months out of the year, they're the same age. And right now they're 9 and 8.
Yep.
And they got along so well, which I think part of that was they had some time apart. Like he'd go off and boogie board.
And she would too.
Yeah. Or he would go play shuffleball, which she didn't care anything about. She just wanted to work on her mermaid stand.
Yeah.
And so when they were together, like eating lunch together and stuff, like there was just like...
Yeah, everyone was good.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
now it was good, like especially when they've got a boogie board and they run by you and they have no awareness that all the sand that is all over that board that they just fling.
We had like 25-mile-an-hour wind gusts that were happening, so it was very windy, and like normal winds were probably averaging like 10-15 miles an hour. So it was
Christian got a lot of sand in his mouth.
In my mouth.
From kids.
Like they're gonna get right up next to you and throw their boogie board down. I'm like, just put it up there. Like, quit bringing it right by my face. And then it's blowing in the wind, and they're holding it by the string, and it's slinging all the sand and mud right on my leg, my face, my cup.
But instead of like snapping and getting so frustrated, we just were like, hey, look at us, guys. It's windy.
We started out that way.
Yeah.
But after it happened about 5 or 6 times, we had to get a little bit more stern just to help them remember.
Here's the boundary. Don't bring the boogie board past this part.
Yep. We had to kind of set some rules. And it's all innocence. Like, they don't realize it's going to happen. But,
oh, yeah. They just forget. They haven't been to the beach in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was fun. We did end up Saturday, the day we kind of packed up and got everything, which we got everyone to help with that.
Here.
We decided, hey, let's do a shopping day. We wanted to get some school clothes and...
Yeah, we love the outlets down there, which I'm really sad. I feel like outlet malls are getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah, and we just hit a few places where we can get stuff for the kids, socks and T-shirts.
Yeah, we love the Nike outlet and all that.
Yeah, so we went and got some stuff.
Marshalls down there.
Yep, and...
shouldn't tell people. They'll go get everything.
Yeah, so we went down, got... random items. I think I bought William cologne.
We did.
Luke got a
does
basketball.
Anybody have a 12-year-old middle schooler that now wears cologne?
Yeah.
That is like, I have never had enough coffee for that smell on a Monday morning.
Well, and it wasn't too bad because he let me help him pick it out, and he actually agreed with me a lot.
It's a great cologne. But
so
like,
all things considered, the first few he handed me, I'm like, oh, I don't want to smell this one.
Oh my gosh, you're not up in the morning to smell what is happening.
I did this morning.
Yeah, you did.
I smelled it this morning as soon as he walked to the breakfast table. It was very pungent.
I forget, even though I have 2 older boys, I forget, like, oh, they hit middle school and they want to taste their cologne.
Yeah. Well, we gave him a rule, like 1 spray on the neck and you can do 1 other spray on your arm or something. But
so we bought randomness. He had birthday money he wanted to spend.
And man, that junk burns a hole in his pocket. So he's got to get rid of it as fast as possible. And he did. He spent all
he sure did. He
$0 left.
Yep. But he was so excited. So he's super into fishing right now. It's like...
I took him on a fishing trip probably the beginning of the spring, probably 3 months ago, maybe 2.5 months ago. And I guess he forgot how fun it was. And now he is like hooked. Yeah. He wanted a fishing birthday party like weeks later, which we did.
Yeah.
And that's all he wants to do. We have a little pond in our neighborhood he wants to fish in as soon as he gets home from school. And he's into all of it. Every video he wants to watch is on fishing. Every YouTuber is fishing. He's reading books at school about
deep sea fishing
and feeding times and how to catch bass.
Yes.
And it's kind of hilarious, but I'm okay with it because I'd rather him be into that than like video games or something.
Yep. And
so
then
I'll support that.
He realized St. Augustine just got a Bass Pro Shop.
Yes. Brand new.
Yeah.
So that was seen from the interstate, and that got put on the agenda list to hit before we come home. And I'm thinking, you know what? That's kind of a fun store. Yeah. I think everybody would enjoy it. It's kind of wild and epic.
I don't think I've ever been in one.
I've been in a bunch.
Yeah, I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever have. It's
a
whole world.
It really is.
Jeez.
So we took a trip to Bass Pro Shop.
Okay, let's set this up. Okay. Ben and I had been talking about, because Ben and I take selfies like all the time, our 18-year-old, and we had been talking about like, I brought my little tripod thing and we were going to take family pictures, and of course, like all of us forgot. We didn't take any pictures. Ben and I took selfies or whatever. We took pictures of the kids, but we didn't do like a group shot. So I think you said like, oh, we'll figure it out. Sometime today when we're shopping, we'll get a picture.
Yeah.
So we're walking into Bass Pro Shop, and okay, I will preface this with, I have homeschooled children before. Christian he grew up homeschooled.
Well, I mean,
So-
private school, but I homeschooled for like maybe 2
Right.
times out of that.
All
maybe
that to
2 years
say-
or something.
We love homeschool families. We believe in it if God has called you to do it. But we looked like
A very awkward one.
an awkward homeschool family has just taken a field trip to the Bass Pro Shop.
Well, right off the bat, I mean, everyone, William, Adeline, Luke, they all wanted to get a photo
In front of the mural.
building. Yeah. No, it wasn't. How did he say it? He didn't say it.
He doesn't call it a mural. They call it something, a mural.
Mirror.
I don't
Something.
know.
It was something weird. We were laughing the whole
So
time.
we're taking photos on the way into the place.
Yeah, of the front entrance, like, it says Bass Pro. So William's all excited and the kids, and I'm like, I see this random dude walking up,
Looking at us.
looking at us, probably, I don't know, 60s or something. He looks kind of a little off too. And I'm like, hey, why don't I just ask this dude to take our photo? And Laura's like, do not do that. That is
my
so weird. And
gosh.
Ben's laughing, and I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
if it
you
wasn't,
were.
if it wasn't for her
No.
really
Oh
being
my
forward
gosh.
about not letting
Okay.
me do that. So, but
Then
we
we
still
walk in,
yeah.
and the the fish tanks that they have, they're pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But our kids acted like they were at the Atlanta Aquarium.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was. Nobody else is really making noise, but our kids are freaking out. Do you see that bear? Look at the alligator. Oh my gosh, look how big that bass
What
is.
did Adeline call it? She wanted to just go by the,
I don't know.
like when we were over by the fishing pole, she just wanted to go back, but she was
She was calling it the forest or something.
Yeah,
or
she
the
wanted to go back to the
wilderness or
forest.
something.
Yeah,
she was
yeah,
calling
I
it like
don't know.
that.
So we're like, whatever, we're just going to be in here a while. And William's lost in the world of
Yeah, he's been wanting to
thousands
get
of fishing poles.
a bait caster, a fishing pole, and I told him that if he saved up, he could get one, and we probably could get a good one there, a good starter one for him. But I kind of warned him, it takes time to learn how to use one of these. But we got one, we found one, and so now he's looking for lures, and I mean, you could spend hours in there looking through
gosh,
all
it was
their
wild.
stuff.
All right. And so in the midst of all that, our whole family loves a good hat. We love a beach hat, a trucker hat, a baseball cap. We love hats. So we find this stand that's got all these Bass Pro kids hats, and they're so cute.
Yep.
And I think we went to Marshall's earlier, and Adeline didn't get anything because she honestly is like the biggest wardrobe and closet. She really didn't need anything.
No.
So then I was like, oh, you need a hat. You need a beach hat because she lost her other one. Anyways, they're all trying hats on. They're $5. Everybody wants a Bass Pro hat. So Ben looks at me and he's like, let's go find hats for us. Where's the adult hats?
And this lady, one of the workers, said,
Yeah.
hey, come right over here. There's a truck full of them. We were like, what?
There are thousands of Bass Pro
And
hats.
that's what it was. It was an actual truck, and the whole entire tailgate, the back of the truck was
and they
full
were
of
like
hats.
$9 or something. I don't even know.
There was different versions, but yeah, it was anywhere between $5 to $10.
Vintage
Yeah.
and all the things. And I love a good hat. So me and Ben are dying laughing because we're all buying. Ben doesn't even wear hats, but he wanted a hat.
Yeah, so we all bought a Bass Pro Shop hat.
We bought a lot of Bass Pro Shop hats.
6 hats, 7, I think, actually.
And so Ben looks at me and he goes, or I don't know if I said it to him or what. I'm like, oh, here's our family photo. Let's get a family photo of everybody wearing a hat. And I was halfway joking, but then it just turned into.
But Luke, on the way out, it's like, we got to go take a photo in front of that mural, or
Yeah.
however he said it. I don't even know.
The mural.
Murray or something.
Oh my gosh. So by this point, we have been a sight. We probably entertained everybody in that.
Yep, and I
They're
staged a
talking
good
about us.
photo. I got William to use his newly bought fishing rod. Because there's this big bass in the background, painted, massive.
Yes.
And we're all in front of it. And
We ripped
he's
the tags off our new hats and
Yep,
put them on.
we all put them on. He's got his on. And we're all facing forward toward the camera. And William has kind of tilted his head around. And he's facing the mural. And he's got a fishing pole. And it's like he's catching the bass on the painting.
Somebody somewhere has Snapchatted a photo of the weird people at Bass Pro Shop.
We're there. Yeah. So it was a perfect moment to capture
Oh
the
my
end of that
gosh,
trip.
We laughed so hard.
Yeah, we did. It was funny. I mean, it was
amazing.
goofball city, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to be cheesy.
Yeah. We don't ever get times to do that. We're usually going to the store by ourselves, just grab what we need to get out. I don't know. It was really fun.
So that was a good experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ate sandwiches in the car right before that. And
We did.
We planned it all out.
We made subs and
Made
had
subs and fruit
snacks
and
and
all
yeah.
chips and all the stuff. So
Yep.
it was a good trip. We got got everything we needed and headed home. And it was even funny because on the way back, after we left, like, we had to get now a fishing pole in this pack car too. So we figured out a way to kind of get that where it wasn't hitting someone in the face.
Yes, a very long fishing pole that doesn't fold up.
That does not fold up, yep. So it's all the way almost to the driver's seat. And we ended up like taping it up to the top of the roof, long story short. But
yeah, we did.
We were driving home, and even William kind of was like, you know what? This was like a really good trip, and it was like the perfect amount of time. Like, we had a lot of fun, but like, I'm ready to be home.
Everybody was ready to be home.
Yep.
We were all tired. The sun takes it out of you.
Yep. And everyone came home, and actually they went straight to playing outside. I think when we got home.
They hadn't seen their neighbor friends in a while.
Yeah, and they played, and it was good. I actually cooked. We had bought a bunch of shrimp, and I did a little shrimp boil again, but we just did like cocktail shrimp and just some cocktail sauce and made some wings, and it was good. It was just a good ending to the spring break.
It was. It was so fun.
All right, so what are some of your takeaways for this episode?
Go on a trip and have fun with your family and laugh.
Yeah.
Let go of your expectations. Be thankful.
Yeah. It's taught. I think that's one thing that we've had to learn. If we don't seem thankful, if we don't seem to have that appreciation for each other and our kids and one another, they're never going to have that. They learn that from you as their parents. And if you don't model fun, if you don't model honor, if you don't model what it means to actually let things go, they're not
having a good attitude.
Yep, having a good, and how it matters, and kind of getting that. It's taught. It's not something that's just innate in all of us. No, it's something you choose.
And decide, I'm just remembering one spring break. I can't remember how long ago it was. We didn't do a big trip. We went hiking. Do you remember we did a day? And we went to that North Georgia thing and hiked.
That
Little Grand Canyon.
Yep.
That was a day trip.
Yeah.
We didn't go get in a condo with a fancy pool and all the things.
That was a long day.
It was fun though.
It was fun.
But decide if you're going to take a trip, how do you financially make it affordable? I don't know. I feel like a lot of families you have to go into debt because everybody's going on a spring break trip and you got to go and it's got to be fancy and you got to wear yourself out at Disney and everybody's resentful, but you went and you bought all the souvenirs.
Yeah.
So plan out what's really important. Should you do it? Should you not? How do you?
And why are you doing it? That's the big question. If you can't answer the why for the right reasons, then you may be doing it for the wrong reasons, and you may not walk away from that trip feeling like it was worth it. Yeah. You may just be like, man, we just spent all this money and I wish we wouldn't have gone. And the kids would say that. And that's not a good place to be at with family trips. It needs to be special. It needs to be a time where y'all all feel loved by one another and that you're there for a purpose. And everyone comes home excited about what happened and want to talk about it, not like frustrated and don't ever want to go on a family trip again.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that there isn't moments and there isn't frustrations, but that can be dealt with in a way that doesn't ruin the whole trip. And we didn't even talk. We had a situation that could have derailed this entire trip.
I was just going to say, there are a couple moments.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about a mom. I think we control an atmosphere way more than we realize. But I am learning just now. Man, I wish I would have learned that a long time ago. But how much of the atmosphere you actually control. And I saw this when I worked in a school, that the teacher controls so much of the atmosphere for the kids by their personal behavior or their attitude towards things, their reactions. I decided way before this trip, I was not going to let anything ruin this trip. Now, we had a morning where Adeline woke up and she did not feel good. And it looked like we might be dealing with some real sickness.
Yeah. And it kind of freaked all of us out. And then we're thinking, are we going to the beach now?
I could have spiraled. It's our first morning in this condo. We've put all this time into this. We just got here. And one of us might be hanging out in this condo with a sick child. Guess what? I had a 2-second decision to make. And I made a decision. Lord, we have prayed for this. You have blessed us with this condo. You have blessed us with this time. We're going to work it out. You're going to work it out. It's going to get figured out. If I'm in this condo and we take turns, whatever it looks like, I did not let myself spiral.
Yep.
And I decided thankfulness was going to rule. And it was a choice.
It was. and I was struggling probably more so. And then, she got sick, which was crazy.
Blueberries were coming out of her mouth.
Yep. And everyone saw it, and everyone's freaking out.
Breakfast.
And now we're all thinking like, oh, she got a stomach bug or something's going on. And, it was probably the Holy Spirit, but I was just sitting in bed and we were talking. She was laying on the couch now. We had just given her a bath and cleaned up everything. And we were just kind of evaluating, like, all right, what are we doing?
Collecting ourselves of what does the day now look like?
We just prayed for her. She's laying on the couch, just kind of already seeming to feel a little bit better, but still just laying there. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, what are we doing? And then it kind of just, it was like the most clear thing. And this is probably too much information for some people, but we had dealt with a situation like this before with her and with William, where they had just had a lot of sinus drainage and it all night long on their empty stomachs, and it made them nauseated, and they threw that up, and then they were fine. It wasn't actually sick. It was just all that sinus stuff in their stomach. And in my mind, I was sitting there thinking, that's what that looked like when I saw it on the floor, which is disgusting. And I'm sorry for those listening. But just to kind of know, I'm sitting there thinking, I don't think she's actually sick. I said, I bet if she's fine in the next few minutes, that's probably what it is, and we're going to be good. It was drainage. Sure enough, she starts to say she's fine. She said she's hungry, can I have more blueberries, and I'm a little scared, like, oh man, are we about to feed her?
Let's give her some bread.
And we gave her a little bit of bread, and she did actually end up eating some blueberries later in the day. But sure enough,
she was fine.
Completely fine. Was at the beach all day.
But even if she wouldn't have been completely fine, kids get sick, stuff happens. I don't know. I had a choice to make. I could be thankful that I'm in this condo and we're away from home, and the water's right outside our window, or not. I could spiral. I could be mad. I could be angry. I could be like, it's ruined. I don't know.
Yeah.
We just took control of the atmosphere by our own attitude, our own.
Yeah. Yeah, and it made a huge difference.
It really did.
And I think we could have gone the wrong way in that, and it could have really affected everyone's morale. Everyone could have been more irritated and frustrated, but they weren't. And we worked it out.
And she was fine.
It was almost like that was just this tiny little blimp that happened, and we forgot about it. That was kind of a cool thing. I feel like it was a total God thing. It completely shifted. It completely changed, and we took control of it, and it was fine.
Which the key in all of this is there was a lot of prayer. I'm not talking hours of prayer. I'm talking, we prayed before we left. We prayed when we're in the driveway. We have a moment where a child's sick. We decided we're going to sit right here with her in the bathtub, and we're going to pray.
That's right.
I don't know. We've just learned to live that way, and the atmosphere changes, and our attitudes are adjusted, and we make choices, and it decides everything, which way everything's going to go. So I think those are a lot of takeaways.
Yeah. So next time you plan your trip, think about these kind of things. I know it's something we're talking about, not because we've mastered, but we've learned from a lot of things, and learning as a blended family, learning what each child needs. But at the end of the day, we as the parents have a lot of responsibility in how things go.
Oh, yeah.
In managing expectations and managing hearts, and even leading by example in a lot of ways, and how important that is. And don't discredit.
And just laugh.
Yeah, having fun.
Gosh, I think there's so much power in laughter.
There is.
And families laughing. I think I was laughing. Ben was laughing.
Yeah.
There just was so much. And I will say there was a lot of personal preferences set aside.
Yeah.
If you didn't love the playlist, you were loving just being on the beach with all of us.
Yeah.
And same thing with me. Like, if your 18-year-old wants to put the playlist on and it's not your favorite, I don't know. We just enjoyed it.
We did. And we were all laughing and goofing off.
Yeah.
And we did play DJ a little bit where everyone's naming songs, and we're trying to get them all listed. But it was fun. It was a moment that worked out, I'd love to hear anyone that listens to this. I'd love to hear what your family vacations look like. If you want to.
Train wrecks are sometimes in the moment they're awful, but later you talk about them, there could be some good laughs.
So if you have anything, send us a message on Instagram or email us. We'd love to hear your stories and your fun trips.
Yeah. Summer's coming, so there's lots of opportunity for trips.
Awesome.
All right, y'all. Well, we hope you enjoyed coming into our world and just hearing some of our dynamics.
Yep.
We love doing this. We're having a good time. You can follow us on Instagram at blended_podcast. Also, if you would share these episodes, subscribe on Apple, subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, whatever your platform is. Send these episodes to people. We know today was just a fun episode, but we know some of the content of things that we've walked through. We just feel so strongly that you know someone in your world who's gone through these things, and it could encourage them. And if you share and you comment and you subscribe, more people will have access to it. And we're just super thankful for all of you following along. And we will talk to you next time.
All right. See y'all.
Bye.